quantum physics and its relationship to intuition. So this is referencing the idea of collapsing the wave function and why going to a fortune teller, a psychic, a healer for answers is black magic, is dangerous, and not in the ways that you might imagine, right? There is power in language. Language is the fourth dimension. It is what collapses pure potential, the fifth dimension, pure possibility, into the third dimension, the material realm, this life that we inhabit. The fourth dimension is a bridge. It's language, feeling, emotion. It's instruction to our subconscious. So when we go to a fortune teller, a psychic, someone where we're looking to give us answers that we might feel we can't access for ourselves, even if we are like so moved by what they say and we get such relief from it and we feel like we know what to do, what has actually happened is that we have taken the instruction offered through the words that they've given us, and we have collapsed the wave function to ensure that outcome is what comes to pass, right? And we do that because we believe that psychic, that fortune teller, that intuitive reader. We believe them more than we believe ourselves. So their words are an instruction to our subconscious, and we then create a reality based on what they've said. So what is collapsing the wave function? Let's talk about the double slit experiment, an experiment that has been repeated hundreds, if not thousands of times. What this experiment tells us is that the particle moving from point A to point B will take every possible path available when it is not under observation. When the particle is being observed, it will behave in a way that is in accordance with the belief of the observer, right? So if the scientist believes in a Newtonian reality of cause and effect, then the particle will travel from point A to point B in that direct linear way. When the observer believes in the quantum reality, that all time and space is one, all potentials exist in this nowness, then the particle will take every possible path between point A and point B. Now, I'm simplifying this here, and there's lots of great resources if you are interested to go deeper, but the idea is the observer effect. We are in a participatory universe, and the act of observation through our perception or our belief about our reality will determine how that particle behaves. So we collapse all other potentials by our belief of whatever we're told, for example, in an intuitive reading or a psychic healer or whatever it is that we're doing or receiving from someone else. So there isn't a fated, predetermined, best possible path to the best life for us. There is only participation. Every choice, every decision to see the psychic or to meet our own subconscious fears and access our own intuition is a choice. And when we believe that someone outside of us has more power, more access to know the best possible course for our life, we will behave subconsciously in accordance with their instruction. So psychic readings, fortune tellings, oh my God, that came true. You know, I went to a psychic and she said this and then it came true, is because we have believed the spell that they have cast and acted in accordance with it. Language is spell casting. And so when we give our power to someone else to let our future be determined by what they perceive, we are missing the point. There is no fated reality, right? Every choice we make is changing the course of our lives, is changing the path that we'll walk. So if we go back to this idea of collapsing the wave function, rather than living in a sea of infinite possibility and being agile and responsive and open to our own intuitive knowing about which next best step to take, we are collapsing the wave function. We are determining the movement of the particle in accordance with what we believe that person has said. This idea of giving our power away is not just an idea. It is the truth of the functioning of a quantum reality. I would much prefer to sit in the truth that I am the one who has access to the infinite intelligence of the cosmos, and that I can stay in that possibility by being open, not by having my future predicted, not by having the answer. The willingness to sit in the unknown is the mark of the mystic. She is one who is comfortable with the mysteries. With intuition, we often want the whole map to be downloaded, right? We get an intuitive hit, start your own business, for example, and we will feel afraid of taking action on that intuitive knowing, no matter how good it feels, until we can guarantee that we'll get the success we want, that the outcome is going to work out in our favor. And that is the worst possible mistake we can make, because until we have the courage to take the first step on the path, the next intuitive hit will not land. The universe is participatory. Intuition is participatory. It requires you to take the action for you to have more intuitive knowing, for the next step to be revealed. There is no guaranteed fated outcome. If I take this intuitive knowing and turn, my life into running my own business, I want guarantees that it will all work out. That is not the point. The point of our success spiritually is not that everything works out in our favor. It is that we have the courage to trust our deep intuitive knowing, even when we don't know where it will lead us. Because I'm sure anyone listening or watching back will know that so often the thing that we thought was the worst thing happening turns out to be the greatest blessing of our life. We didn't understand, so we might have had fear around it. But ultimately, we can go back and we can see that things not working out the way we wanted is sometimes the very best thing that can happen. And I believe that when we put our power, our intuitive knowing, the power for determining our lives into the hands of someone else, we are collapsing the wave function at only one level of possibility, and we're shutting the door on all the other magnificent possibilities. So be very mindful. Yes, it's sometimes really scary. Our lives can feel overwhelming. We don't know right action. But the answer is not to go and find someone who you believe has all of that information, which they don't, by the way. All they can do is read what you are offering in that time, in that moment. And the next choice you make will change what is there in that moment, right? So the best possible tools that we can use to increase access to our own intuitive knowing is to increase nervous system regulation, to create the conditions in our life to have a regulated nervous system so that we are a prepared vessel for our intuitive knowing. We need to create the conditions in our life: stillness, silence, solitude, withdrawing our attention from the superficial external world, having that time where we can regulate, reset, and meet our own intuitive wisdom. You will never get all the answers from your intuition in one go. Bang, 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 bang. Do this, do this, do this, and your success is guaranteed. It is not how it works. The universe and your intuition, as the language of the universe, is participatory. It offers you something, it waits for you to take action, and then when you do, it gives you the next step in the plan. So trust yourself. You know what to do. And even when it feels overwhelming, it is simply the willingness to sit with the discomfort rather than to run from it that will determine the landing of your intuition in a way that you can trust and act upon. You are in a universe that is waiting to support you, that is waiting to feed you the information, the wisdom of the ages to guide you. You are the oracle, and all it requires is that spiritual sweat, that willingness to do the damn work, to bring your life into a state that allows you to be the vessel for your intuition. So much love. Have the most glorious day.